Om Sadashiva Samarambam Shankaracharya Madhyamam Asmadacharya Paryantam Vande Guru Paramparam Ishvaro Guratmeti Murti Veda Vibhagine Vyomabda Vyapta Dehaya Dakshinamurtaye Namaha Tava Vedanta Sedanta Gocharam Tamagocharam Govindam Paramanandam Satguru Pranatosh Maham Om Shanti 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 Om Namaste. Um, We we have seen verse 12. All the states of mind which are affected by Sattva-guna, okay, Sattva-guna, Raja-guna, and Tamaguna. No, all of them to be just myself. I'm not dependent on any of these, but everything, including the gunas, depend on me. This is Krishna speaking as Brahman. So, and then the point here, we have seen it last week, is that so Brahman somehow is the causeless cause of the universe. It projects the universe. And then we say it projects the universe. We imagine that it projects right away into the physical material universe. You understand? But as we know, it holds it, and then Maya, which its power, contain the entire all universe, present, past, and future. And then when it projects itself, it projects Papa, the subtle and the physical material cosmos. So both. So, and this is a very nice subject in the sense that in which way the Lord project the subtle world. If the subtle world is mostly coming from the mental material provided by jivas, Jiva is going to provide this mental material, but Isvara has the register, registration of everything, all knowledge, all ignorance, all states, all thoughts, all emotions, everything is there in the Viranya Garbha, the macrocosm mental universe. So he says that the states of mind, not only the physical material universe, but the states of mind also are controlled by me. Your states of mind is going to be fluctuating according to the proportions of sattva, raja, and tamas, and that is all about me. Now, everything is born of me. So as we know, the three gunas are the original building blocks of the entire three universe. It's more difficult to say that is the building blocks of the causal, the cause, causal universe, because it is equivalent of unmanifest or unborn, right? When it's in the causal formation. But when it goes into the subtle, and then we have the gunas there as the building blocks that somehow manifests as the subtle and the gross universe to make up the physical material cosmos. So everything comes from Brahman. And Brahman is free and independent of all of that, whereas everything depends on me, says Krishna as Brahman. Krishna was talking about the external world. The external world is is caused by me. I am the material cause and the intelligent cause. And but not only the physical material world, but also the subtle, the world of thought, feelings, emotions, and states of mind. And then Swami highlighting this, the beginning of this now expositions that now Krishna brings us to observe as well the subtle universe as its creation and the way we're going to deal with it. So we need to understand objectively that everything is just an object of experience, and everything is there so that we can interact and learn something. And that includes our very states of mind. We know we need to have an objective view of all of that. Huh? That's why he's bringing. So it's very easy to have an objective view of the Vyasacarya, the physical material universe, but to have an objective view of the subtle world, of thoughts, feelings, emotions, and states, it's a little bit more difficult because we tend to lose objectivity due to the identification with our thoughts and mental states. Huh? And then Swami says we have to remember only Brahman is the only source of conscious or sentience, and the subtle universe is Prakriti, it's subtle matter, and they are by nature inert. They appear to be somehow sentient, but it is sentient just due to the additional, the substratum of this mental universe, which is Brahman, which is consciousness, conscious existence. So conscious existence makes the body to appear sentient. We have seen it in the previous class. So we know that the body fundamentally is inert matter, but then we somehow we feel like, no, the body is sentient. It has its own sentience, but no, it's not. The same way we can say like, oh, my thoughts, my emotions, my feelings, my states, they cannot be just matter, inert matter, They cannot, because they even appear to be more sentient. They appear to be more sentient, but in fact, it's not more sentient. It is as inert as the physical body. Our subtle body is as inert as the physical body. They appear sentient due to the blessings of Brahman consciousness, the all-pervasive Brahman, the Paraprakriti. So therefore, our subtle body, our mind, our feelings, emotions, and states, they all have the two natures, the superior nature and inferior nature, or two parts, One is consciousness blessing, the subtle body to produce states and thoughts and cognition and feelings. And the other is its material aspect, which is just subtle matter. Okay, subtle matter. Those are just a very, very subtle body. That's why it's called subtle body. It's made out of subtle matter. And why? Because there is a lot of sattva guna, sattva energy to configure this subtle body. There is a lot of these energies in there because it's a subtle body. And sattva guna is the most subtle. But then there is also some rajoguna and tamoguna, and maybe if it was not for sattoguna, rajoguna and tamoguna, we all would have the same mind as God, because our mind is pure sattva. But somehow it does not seem to be possible, and we need to work hard forward to develop a little bit more sattva guna, which is responsible for intelligence, clarity, truth. So as far as our mind, our states is a flux of continuous change. There is these states and the thoughts and the emotions changing, But there is the other part, which is the changeless consciousness on which it is projected. The consciousness part belongs to Paraprakriti. And when we say belongs to Paraprakriti, we have to remember belongs to my superior nature. Belongs to my superior nature. And then the changing material aspect, which is apara prakriti, yeah? It's my inferior nature, and it's just matter, subtle matter, but it's still matter. And as anything which is objectivable, such as my mental state, is full of attributes, subtle attributes, but the attributes are there. Wherever there are attributes, it means to say there is change, there is time, there is space, and there is limitation. And as we have seen, these states of mind, these feelings, emotions, and thoughts, they are very, very intimately intertwined with the consciousness, which is my superior nature, and therefore the difficulty to do this viveka, right? And then Swami says, remember our example, we have the hand and we have the light. And then we say that, oh no, I see, what do you see? No, I see the hand, but I see the nails, I see so many things, I see a little band-aid on your hands, many things. Okay, but besides that, what else? No. And then nobody's going to say, I see the light reflecting upon the hand so that I can see the hand. So light is a huge, beautiful pramana because it illumines and reveals. And as we know, consciousness is the pramana of the pramanas. No? So we'll miss the light. Likewise, we miss consciousness because it's so, intimately connected with our thoughts, feelings, and emotions that it's a little bit more deep for us to objectify it and to see it as just apara prakriti. Similarly, the scriptures point out within our minds there are two things: the change thoughts, feelings, emotions, and states. And right from the first word that is uttered, your mind has been changed. Every word is impacting your mind because every word or concept has a field to it, which is going to create change in your mental state. In fact, our mind has to entertain thoughts according to my word. The words come and the mind is going to interpret the thoughts, and that is going to create a certain experience state, mental state. Every word I utter should generate what? It has to enter through your ears, and you should know the meaning. Let me just change this one here. It should only through the ears, and you should know the meaning and the accordance. In accordance with the meaning, a thought will come in your mind. So as we know, communication gives room to a lot of misunderstanding, because one thing is one thing is what we intend to say or convey, but words are not very easy to go into the subtle realms, of the Vedantic concepts. So we have words, and then the mind is going to hear, listen, and then interpret it, and then it's going to come with a certain understanding. So, and then it means what? I mean, not only the mind is just figuring things, the meaning of these words, and try to establish, a better concept in regards to that angle of the teachings, But many people in a room are receiving it in different ways, and everyone's mind is changing. It's changing all through a Vedantic classes. Some of them are changing in an upset way. If you say something that, may be offensive to the person listening. Now, in Panchadas, Vidyaranya compares thoughts to a greatest dancer who dances so violently, not physically violently, moves the hands, the legs so fast. Similarly, the mind assumes thoughts after thoughts. The thoughts are varying, but there is one thing which is not varying. All through that dance of thoughts, bringing about sensations and emotion, there is a changeless background. And what's that? It's consciousness. I'm conscious of my mind, my states, and the change and everything. I say, yeah, but there are moments that when I listen to the teachings, I go into Nirvikalpa Samadhi, and then my mind is blank. And then Swami again reminds us, saying like, so who is conscious of the fact that the mind is blank now? So that blankness of the mind, yet just a changing phenomenon. Oh, but Nirvikalpa Samadhi, it's amazing because it does not change. It does change. It's enough that an insect bites your nose, and then the Samadhi changes. The mind changes, the state changes. Consciousness is the only thing not changing. That's why uh, it's so frustrating to go for yoga as meaning samadhi yoga, because you want to establish a permanent state of great satisfaction. But then some people put up with the limitation, and they say it doesn't matter. It's not forever. Mind change, the guna change, mind change. Usually they don't understand the configuration of the gunas, making it impossible for the mind to hold a sattvic reflecting medium, producing blankness. But if you understand that, it is impossible to hold a state of mind permanently. But one may say, but it's okay. So my samadhis are getting better now. Lately, it's getting 48 seconds. And Mark thought that I was going to say it lasts only for a day. No, 48 seconds.
Seconds, yeah.
But some people say, no, but it's okay. It's worth it. And the more you go there, the longer this samadhi, this deep satisfaction will be. I don't know about that. So the simplest aspect of the teachings is everything that changes is an object of experience, and in the language of this 11th chapter is aparaprakriti. Okay? It is aparaprakriti is inert. It's not something self-contained, that contains its own conscious existence. So it's aparaprakrit, therefore it's subject to change, and beginning, middle, and end thoughts. And Krishna says, Arjuna, every thought that arises in your mind is aparaprakriti. It's just inert by nature. When we saw before that paraprakriti is nirguna and aparaprakriti is saguna, so what is the guna playing to produce the object called blank mind? It's I tend to believe that is sattva guna. A lot of sattva guna that is somehow going to produce a reflection that in the beginning is recognized as bliss, satisfaction, peace, happiness. And then I never experienced nirvikalpa samadhi, but they say that sometimes you disappear. I was with a guy in Pune on my days with my first guru. My first guru died, and then we started going to the house of this guy. He was a businessman that was an older disciple of Rajneesh. And then we discovered that he was enlightened. And then we started running to his house, big house, to listen to him. And he used to explain, so when Osho left to go to Oregon, United States, I felt so bad. I said, oh my God, I'm depressed now. I was depending on Osho for everything. I was so close to him. And now I'm here. And then he said, no, I have to do this work myself. And then the guy start meditating, following the guidance of Osho. So I watch my emotions, my thoughts, this and that. I'm none of this. I'm none of this. I'm none of this. And then he says, and then came a point that I was experiencing peace and silence, and then I would disappear. Exactly his words. I would disappear, and then I will come back later on. So nirvikalpa samadhi is a situation in which the meditator and the experience itself disappears. And they say that when they come back, they feel so refreshed. And in retrospective, they say, oh, I had an experience that is wonderful, which more or less in the same lines of coming back and say, wow, I had a wonderful night of sleep. That's why Ramana Maharaj used to say that don't fall into nirvikalpa samadhi here. That's just like sleep, he used to say again and again. Stay alert and ask yourself, who am I, who am I, who am I? So, Paraprakriti is nirguna. Aparaprakriti is anything that can be objectified, and everything that is objectified is aparaprakriti, is defined by certain attributes of the gunas of Maya. And some of these beautiful mental states is heavily conditioned by sattva guna. But it's still guna. And a guna never remains the same. It's always, because there is no, another point to be understood, there is nothing, there is no phenomenal object of experience that is only one of these three gunas. It's like if you have the Prakriti of Maya, everything that's produced below the line of the Prakriti of Maya, they contain the three gunas. It's always a mix. Just a question of proportions, percentage. So if there are guna, one guna, two gunas, three gunas, as we say, that's why we say that Isvara is not really 100% pure sattva guna, but is predominantly sattva guna. Okay, if Isvara comes up in the Prakriti of Maya, where there are the three gunas already manifest, but Isvara somehow comes with this incredible proportion of guna. And my take is that he will never be an entity with a physical body, because you need much more rajaguna and tamaguna to hold, to create, to configure a physical body, But if you are only the intelligence principle, you need basically sattva guna, and then you need a little bit of rajaguna.
In that case, how do you explain avatars? Like Krishna.
Well, avatars, they are having a human body, so therefore they are subject to time, they are subject to limitations, they are subject to many things, So the only difference is that they did not come here due to their own karma. They came, it can be seen, they came due in a mission, a byproduct of universal karma of the Vijivas. Yeah? So humanity needs one of these avatars to come to help us. That is the concept. But once you take a physical body, you are subject to lots of limitations and experience of pleasure and pain, but it's someone who comes basically already self-realized, So if the moment that we have a physical body, we are our humanity was established as well,
Yeah.
So knowledge, activity, and delusion, sattva, raj, and tamas, are three gunas belonging to consciousness, Brahman, Satchitana Brahman. And now here he says, so activity, delusion, that is an aspect of tamoguna, activity, rajoguna, delusion, clarity, intelligence, so sattva. So basic now knowledge, the first one, knowledge representing sattva, activity, rajoguna, delusion, tamoguna. So, and then he presents the three gunas, sattva, rajas, and tamas. These are the three gunas belong to me, manifest by me, belong to my apara prakriti. It's important to understand that because Brahman is beyond the three gunas. So he's making reference to Brahman manifest as Isvara. So all these three gunas belong to apara prakriti. And now the thoughts which are products of apara prakriti, they also manifestation of my three gunas. So it's the same law, karanaguna, kariya anuvatate. Since Paraprakriti has got three gunas, every product in the subtle and in the physical material universe will have these three gunas as, the basic, basic composition. And of course, the three gunas, they develop to become the subtle elements, and then the subtle elements becomes the material, air, space, and so on. And then the chemical, the physical elements come into play, and then we have numberless namarupas. But everything comes from these three gunas. Every product of these three gunas will have these three gunas as well. The body has three gunas, the mind has three gunas. The thoughts can be categorized as well. In the end of the Gita, there is a chapter there, very beautiful, that everything is going to be analyzed from the standpoint of three gunas, everything. Okay? Everything. Every manifestation is going to be analyzed, from the standpoint of three gunas. So, and then here he says that thoughts, for example, you can have a more sattvic thought, a more rajasic thought, or tamasic thought. We all know that. Right? And how about the states of mind? When I go to bed, I want to have a tamasic state of mind because I want to sleep. When I need to go to do my job, I need to have a more rajasic state, And then when I want to study the scriptures, I want to have more sattvic mind, So everything can be seen from that angle. We can say much more about the three gunas, but we'll be studying thank you, Swamiji. He says the 14th chapter, it's coming soon. Which chapter we hear? 7 now. In Portuguese, it's going to come soon. It's a very nice chapter. Therefore, I'm not going to go much into details here so that you can stay with it until the 14th chapter. Say Swamiji. Okay, what he's saying here. Satvik here means noble thoughts, noble, intelligent thoughts, dharmic thoughts. So rajas thoughts means intermediary kinds of thoughts. They are dynamic by nature, and they are necessary for us to live. And tamasic thoughts are the worst possible, but as everything has its value, it's highly necessary when we go to sleep, as I said. Shankaracharya generally classifies or comments say that sukha, dukkha, moha, vitrahayaha. So can you translate for me these three words, Lin?
Sukha means pleasure.
Yeah, the first one.
And moha means delusional.
Okay. Sukha, pleasure, yeah. Dukkha is pain, and then moha is delusion.
Delusional,
yeah. And why he's present Raja as a source of pain? Because it's not necessarily a source of pain, but generally he presents this concept. Anyhow, in short, varieties of thoughts occur in the mind, and all of them arise from where? From Brahman. Krishna says this arise from me and me alone. And which part of me? Because Krishna himself say, I have two parts, my higher nature, paraprakriti, and my inferior nature, aparaprakriti. And then again, Swami is highlighting this one. Which part of me, what part of me, these gunas, this variety of thoughts come is from the aparaprakriti part of me, not the paraprakriti. Yeah. And here, Shankaracharya makes a note, because this line can be misunderstood, because everybody would think like, no, it comes from my absolute nature as paraprakriti. But as we know that the gunas, they belong to Maya. Prakriti of Maya is a creation of Maya. Maya brings about the three gunas. But since Prakriti, Maya needs consciousness as the substratum, but here somehow it's present that the gunas that are going to condition your human experience in every sense, they come from my inferior nature as paraprakriti, or my Maya nature. So there is room for confusion here, and then wherever there is room for confusion, Shankaracharya wants to make a special note. Thank you, Shankaracharya. So Krishna has said, all forms of thoughts are born out of me, which means I'm responsible for all thoughts. This is another angle of interpretation here. This is something that needs to be noticed also in any other aspects of the teachings, not only in these three gunas, the nature of our thoughts and so on. Because everything has to be understood or resolved back to Saguna Brahman and Nirguna Brahman. But the jiva is not like totally, how you say? He has his degree of responsibility as well, So because it's very easy to say, oh, I have a lot of namasic thoughts lately, and I'm doing a lot of rajasic actions lately. And I read in the scriptures that it's all Isvara and Isvara alone. So, no, Jiva is responsible for the nature of one's thoughts. Don't take it to be conveniently said that you just you don't have that kind of responsibility, It does not exempt you from the responsibility of cultivating good thoughts, sattvic thoughts, dharmic thoughts. When I get violently angry, and when I get jealous, when I get destructive, when I have creating problems for myself and others, and other people are going to complain, I should not say this all comes from Brahman or from the Prakriti of Isvara alone. Oh, do not blame me. God made me that way.
Yeah.
Bhagwan is say, huh?
I have a question.
Please.
So my experience is that there are thoughts that arise that I don't seem to generate, and could you say that those thoughts are from the karmas from previous lives, and that my responsibility is what do I do with them?
Definitely. Yeah. We don't know why some thoughts, sometimes dreams clearly do not, it's not
Right.
impressions from experience and place and things so we don't know exactly. We are very ignorant of our causal body, but or past lives, but the important thing is I should be able to filter these thoughts in nourish the good ones, and just filter off these other thoughts. Definitely, that is the responsibility of every jiva, because we can see Ishvara not only as this creator that creates the subtle and the physical material universe, but we can see Ishvara as Ishvara, the causal, macrocosm causal body. So all the impressions are there, our subconscious minds are there, our vasana load is there in another language, everything is there. But I can never say, oh, it's all Ishvara, I was born with this terrible vasana. No? We cannot say that because Ishvara has given us the free will, the intelligence to be able to purify our vasanas as well. That is what it means. Purification, refinement is just to, in another language, reprogramming your vasana load, or simply seeing what surface in your mind. You know it's coming from the causal body or the unconscious mind, and then say, "Oh my God, where did it come from?" It's more often the dreams. You look at the dream, Mamma mia, where did it come from? But it comes as a thought here and there, emotion, sensation, a strong feeling of hate. So don't blame Ishvara. Don't tell about in the Gita, he says that he's responsible for our thoughts because everything comes from his three gunas. He's not responsible in that sense. Without this Saguna Ishvara, and the original cause. Now we're going to see a little bit about the fundamental, substantial cause, and the effect, which has another technical name, Vishesha and Samanya cause. So we know that Ishvara is there. Without Ishvara, we can have no thoughts, good thoughts or bad thoughts. So it's the exercise of our human intelligence which is responsible for our good or no good thoughts, which are only possible by the bless of Ishvara. But Ishvara should not bless anybody with bad thoughts. No, Ishvara is going to bless all of us because it's our job. It's our job to purify and cultivate good thoughts. You cannot say, oh, I'm innocent. I was made that way. So what? But this misinterpretation is often possible. Therefore, we need not only the scripture, but a teacher, so that we can understand our responsibility. So Shankaracharya puts in the words of Samanya Karana, Vishesha Karana. Samanya Karana is the substantial basic cause. Let's see how he puts. And Vishesha is the specific cause.
So when he's saying samanya karanam, is he saying basically the reflected consciousness?
The cause.
That's the original cause, and then the thoughts ourselves we generate through our causal body.
So Bhagavan in its most fundamental nature is Sattva Guna. But Bhagavan is also he's not only the intelligent cause, but it's the material cause. The material cause of Bhagavan includes the three gunas as the original building blocks of the cosmos, of the two worlds, the Sattva and the cause. So it's all Bhagavan, okay? But it's all Bhagavan because, as we know here in this planet, human beings with this complex body-mind organism with the potential of engaging complex thoughts, we have a tendency to have egoic, self-centered thoughts to the extent that we begin affecting others. So it's always the responsibility of what we jivas do with this gift, which is human intelligence or human consciousness or human free will. So the cause is what? The cause is Bhagavan in its intelligent nature, which is pure Sattva Guna. But Bhagavan has also the two gunas. In fact, Bhagavan is the principle that manipulates this mixture of the three gunas that breaks up into numberless configurations, to make up the entire cosmos. So what was your question?
So now, when I asked the question, I hadn't read the sentence correctly. I hadn't read the first. I did read it, but I didn't get it. Therefore, Shankara says Bhagavan. I was thinking that the Samanya Karanam was a secondary cause after Bhagavan. But he's saying Bhagavan is only. So Bhagavan is the pure consciousness in this way. Samanya Karanam is the pure consciousness.
So he says that Bhagavan is Samanya Karana.
Yeah.
Is the most. Samanya Karana and Vishesha Karana can be seen as well, the intelligence cause and the material cause. Vishesha Karana is the universe manifest physically with all the three gunas, and we are byproducts of the three gunas. Everything in our body has the three gunas. Just the subtle body has more Sattva Guna. So the fundamental cause is pure intelligence, Samanya Karanam, the specific, and it's so intelligent that it somehow produces this human intelligence and says, okay, now it's up to you what you're going to do with your human intelligence, So Samanya Karanam. And the jivas appear as the manifestation of Isvara. And then we are going to produce bad thoughts or good thoughts according to the exercise of our intelligence,
Good configuration.
Yeah, but we say again and again, the most fundamental thing to keep in mind is to cultivate and maintain more and more Sattva Guna, in our minds, developing Sattva Guna. Of course, the body as well. I mean, when we go in the 14th chapter, everything has the three guna, and then analyze the physical body. The physical body can have more Sattva Guna, more Tamo Guna, more Raja Guna, and we see it. Physical bodies under the influence of too much Raja Guna, they move like crazy, and they are and some other physical bodies want to sleep and be lazy. So it's a very nice this chapter, this 14th chapter. So Bhagwan is the Samanya Karana, is the basic original substantial cause or intelligent cause, and the jivas are going to bring about the specifics. I cause Vishesha Karana. I'm causing the quality of my thoughts. It's not only Ishvara. Ishvara produces what? The gunas gives us a physical body, a subtle body, and then with potentially all kinds of mental states, and then it's up to the jiva, to produce the Vishesha Karana, to be the Vishesha Karana. I am going to cultivate and maintain a sattvic dharmic pattern of attitudes and thoughts and emotions. What is the difference? And here there are some examples. What is the difference between Samanya and Vishesha? And then Swami presents one or two simple examples. So if you want to build a house or a hall, you would say that the bricks and the cement are the substantial original cause. But the cement and the concrete alone is not going to be really responsible for the future of this house or building or auditorium, So you need the architect, you need you to say, oh, I want something like this, like that, So the bricks and cement is the Samanya cause, and then the Jiva is the Vishesha cause. Okay, I want this hall or this house my way, in particular shape, and so on. So we have this responsibility of using this human intelligence in a way that promotes happiness or my spiritual development or elevation. Ishvara is not going to do anything to us because it has no preference. And Ishvara is not moved by any desire to have sympathy or not to others, although here and there in the Gita, Krishna say, yeah, no, I'm totally equanimous about this. I have no karma. But I have to confess, the people who sees themselves in me and see me in themselves, I have a little sympathy for them. Yeah. Another example Swamiji is bringing here, you have bought one of those India scooters, and you say, I need to move this scooter and I need the petrol. The petrol is the cause for the movement of, to turn this scooter into a transportation vehicle, no? So that is the Samanya cause, yeah? But if I put the fuel inside, yet it's not going to move unless, I drive it, and then I am the Vishesha cause. I can drive in many ways. I can cause accidents and whatnot. The petrol can never be blamed but that. You are going to say something, Lynn?
No, I'm just, it's because the Samanya cause is sort of the architecture and the laws and the order, and we act within that environment.
Yeah, that is a more profound view of it. So I must present some more simple, So because Ishvara is not only the gunas, but it's something so complex that the moment that he produced the subtle universe called Hiranyagarbha, that subtle universe is sustained by all these principles and laws, intelligently designed. So, and then the jiva has the free will that it breaks down, breaking the human free will, it breaks to the choice of living in harmony with God's laws and principles. or just live in harmony with my likes and dislikes, you know? I mean, if I live moved by my likes and dislikes, I'm not going to have a harmonious life, because what I like and what I dislike is going to conflict with my neighbors, you know? And because everybody has different set of likes and dislikes. It's better to conform with Isvara's likes and dislikes, which is just laws and principles. So be careful. Krishna is referring to samanya karanam. Do not mix up with vishesha karanam. This entire creation being a product of me, my gunas, my maya, it depends on me, but I'm free and independent from all of this. Me, the cause, because the law is in effect depends on its cause for its existence, but the cause is free and independent from its effects. The gold is free and independent from the ornaments, and the ornaments are totally dependent on gold. In fact, there is only gold and gold alone. The only difference between a jiva and ornaments of gold in this analogy is that a ring, a gold ring, does not have sentience or free will. You know, I'm gonna change my shape, you know, and he's totally inert, insentient. And jivas have a sentience, therefore, we pay the price for this human intelligence, which is, you know, we have to conform, or otherwise we will suffer. Human suffering is something. Marcus is looking around here and seeing the chicken, some chicken a little bit sick, being bullied by others and so on, but they show no psychological suffering, you know. And the only people who really suffer seems to be us human beings. And that's the price. You know, and the gold ring has no problem if you get it and melt it. The existence of the effect always depends upon the cause, and therefore the effect depends upon the cause, whereas the cause does not depend upon the effect. Even if the whole world is just disappeared or destroyed, you know, Isvara remains absolutely intact, continues to exist. That is the concept of pralaya. Isvara remains intact, Maya remains intact, which is the macrocosmic causal body of the creation. Krishna says, Arjuna, I do not depend on the world, but the world depends on me. That's why during pralaya, even the entire world is resolved in Isvara, and I continue to exist. Therefore, Krishna says, I am beyond all this superimposition of the gunas. Therefore, he says, I do not depend upon any of these products of the world, whereas they will depend on me. The same concept. Only the Lord consciousness, our true nature, has independent conscious existence. The Lord is called Satyam, and all these objects made out of apara prakriti have dependent existence. The world is called Mithya, that which enjoys an existence which is dependent on something else. Satyam. Therefore, I am Satyam, says Krishna. The world is Mithya, and I leave to my jivas to decide if they are Satya or if they are Mithya. That's a good one, huh? Because it's all about that. The jiva, with whatsoever intelligence we have, we can decide to understand and claim our true nature. as satya, or remain identified with our mithya nature, apara prakriti, which brings a lot of trouble. Verse 13. Deluded by these states of mind which are affected by the gunas, this whole world does not know me, who am beyond the gunas, and therefore I am changeless. You see, the gunas is the most fundamental attributes of Maya, the three gunas. It's the base, the most fundamental attribute. And they are going to get mixed together to break themselves into, numberless attributes and qualities and properties and characteristics, but all begins with the guna that becomes the 5 elements. So he says that people, they get deluded by the states of mind. They do not know that the states of mind, they are just a play of the gunas. And the gunas is going to always change the way they configure themselves. Therefore, this word here, delusion, if I think that happiness is in a certain state of mind, I am living a delusional, life. How can I have really permanent satisfaction and peace and happiness if I just believe that it comes from a certain configuration of the gunas? If I say it comes from a certain configuration of the gunas, and I understand that configuration is changing all the time, so I have to understand that happiness is going to be a changing happiness. Happiness now, and then unhappiness later, and then a little depression, a little stress, too much rajas in my mind, and then more sattva, and then I feel good again. I remember my days having moments that my mind was more sattvic, but I did not know.
Yeah.
And I said, wow, I feel great, And then I want to go around and show myself to people, see how great I feel, without saying anything. And then when you see the mind change, and then, we say, okay, so what happened?
Where did it go?
Why happened? Why my mind changed? Why now I'm feeling bad again,
Yeah.
And then, oh my God, how do I remember these fluctuations of mental states from my youth, especially? And people still are seeking and search for a permanent kind of mental state that could produce happiness at all times. And a lot of these meditations is about that. I very simply, I used to put that meditation is an effort that we make to control our experience. I don't know if you heard me saying that, because you want to have an experience, through an instrument which is more sattvic, more clear, more happy, more peaceful. And then you do what you do to produce that kind of state. And then you go back to run your restaurant, and then you see the state change. That was exactly what happened to me. I got so frustrated that I said I would never do this shit again anymore. It's not mean that everybody should come to that radical determination, no? But it was out of frustration. So deluded by states of mind which are vulnerable because they are affected by the changing composition of the gunas, these people who are trying to find me because they are in the spiritual path, they cannot know me because they are looking me as a state of mind conditioned by a lot of sattva guna. I am beyond the sattva guna. I am beyond the sattva guna, and people are looking for me in a state of mind because they are still deluded. Therefore, this whole world of jivas, nobody knows me because I'm not in here. Meaning to say, I'm not just sattva guna. I am beyond sattva guna. I am the changeless. If I say I'm sattva guna, like sometimes we feel very sattvic, and then I will be having two attributes playing within my existence, and wherever there are two elements playing, one is affecting and changing the other. The only thing that does not change is consciousness. If consciousness would have one attribute or two attributes, okay, let's say two attributes, and then there will be change, and we can look into it. If there are two, there is. Go and look into human relationship. There are two people. Now I'm tired of relating only with my dog and my cat, and then I relate to another human being, and then the change is even stronger, because there are two people trying to live in total harmony on the same page, but the gunas change their mind from moment to moment, plus every one of them is a different set of vasanas, likes and dislikes. So it's very difficult. It's very difficult. But I am the attributeless, changeless conscious existence. Therefore, never look for me in these mental states, because they are dependent on the configuration of the gunas. With the previous verse, Krishna concludes the top of the nature of Isvara, the nature of God. And let's recap here what were the points most important. God is a mixture of para prakriti, which is the sentient principle, and the innate principle. In other words, matter and the spirit. The second aspect, feature, is that God alone is the causeless cause of the world, and He preserves the world and He destroys the world. So we need to understand God in its entirety. It's not only the preserver and the creator, but the destroyer as well. This is a mature way to understand the nature of God. Because time is built into this mithya universe. Time is built into the gunas, because the gunas somehow change, bringing a variety of plurality, diversity of namarupas that somehow has the time built into it so that it can appear and disappear. Therefore, it's not really real. The third important feature is God being the cause. He alone manifests as the entire world. The entire world is the manifestation of the God, and therefore we have to learn to see the world as divine. And this is a tricky one, because there is so much evil in the world, and God is not responsible. And to be able to do this viveka and never to attribute our indignation to Isvara, but to Jiva's exercise of human intelligence, So if we understood that God is also the destroyer, but not because He wants to destroy. Destruction means, things that are born, they grow, and they have to be, recycled. The very concept of recycling everything, sure that. So you need to recycle these fundamental gunas, materials, elements, Everything that's born must die. This is the most fundamental, one of the most fundamental. Therefore, the world is divine. And this divine world is called Vishvarupa Isvara. So we need to develop Vishvarupa Isvara Darshana, see Isvara as this divine principle. The fourth and final is, since God is the cause of the world and the world is the effect, God has independent existence, whereas is Satya and the world has dependent existence, therefore is mithya. There are many ways we can understand mithya. One of them is like mithya is that which is subject to time and space, to birth and death, and it's subject to change. Everything that changes mithya is bound by time. And here we see that is that which does not have independent existence. It depends on what? Satchitananda Brahman, consciousness, the substratum, the adhisthana. Now blessing this mithya world of object with apparent existence. I'm a little bit tamasic today. I was in bed until late today because yesterday I started watching the Super Bowl and it ended up late here.
That was kind of pitiful, wasn't it?
You like it?
I only watched the Super Bowl once in a blue moon, and my sister is a big Kansas City fan, so
Ooh,
I was commiserating with her throughout the evening.
the first half was unbelievable, and they couldn't really come from the defense zone of the field. It's unbelievable.
Yeah, it was the hand of God, obviously.
Okie dokie. Om Purnamada Purnamidam Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnamevavashishate. Om Shanti 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 Om. Namaste. We meet again this coming Wednesday, okay?
Yeah.
Thank you, Arlen.
Okay. Hugs and kiss. See you
Bye.
later, alligator.